All right, guys, let's get right to it. Great to see everybody. Thanks. Little issue. I just wanted to restart the whole thing. So that's cool. Let's give away, for those that came right back, HPC 30 to the first person. Get the 30% off on the software. It's the last day. That's what I tried to start with. And then somehow we got cut off, but I think we're good now. HPC 30. Give you a 30-day package. Everybody else, the Black Friday thing, Cyber Monday, that is over this weekend. All right, that's the only chance. 30% off. Everyone else, get your free 2-week free trial. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Thank you. Hey, Castles, you're the winner. Castles, you got to send me a note on the Discord, please. I'll pop that link in a second, and then I'll hook you up. I need your full name, email address, and TradingView username. Anybody else, you have questions, get with me over in the Discord. All right, enough of that. Let's get to it. Great to see everybody. Listen, I really want to focus on stuff that is working. Silver, gold, semiconductors, particular energy, quantum. Let's start with silver. Doing what we all thought Bitcoin would do by this point, going parabolic in a crazy way. Got to bring this to your attention because it speaks to a larger phenomenon of massive price discovery basically across the board in so many asset classes. You have to understand where we are within this cycle. You know, silver, SLV, probably the easiest way to play it, but there's silver futures, March contract. I would just book this for a 1618 ride. That's 83.50, 84 bucks, all-time shot. I gotta say maybe mid-year or sooner. That's how aggressive this stuff is. I mean, silver to be up 5 or 6% in one day after already doing what it's done is absolutely historic. It's historic, guys. This and the SLV, I've brought this up as one of the top kind of trending price discovery candidates. You know, SLV at 58 now, going pretty much like 75. It is a 1618 extension. Okay, amazing. But your 1618 price discovery minimum move is 71, 72. But build the zone. 1618, 1902, 70-ish to 82 plus. That's where silver's going. There's no stopping it. Meanwhile, some of the other things that are, I think, interesting, related, I think silver and solar and semiconductors, guys. These are the 3 S's to success. Silver, semis, and solar. Here's the TAN ETF, now 49. Guys, this is just on its way to 64, just taking its time. And again, we're looking for continued entries on all of these. Where was the solar edge here? It's been beaten up a little bit. I gotta think we're getting close. I've been waiting for a pullback on this one really since the summer. And solar edge is down here, hitting some oversold levels around 29 or 30. Probably the best opportunity since August. You got that, you got solar edge, you got First Solar. And just look, these are going to continue to move higher. This is trending behavior. And that's what we want. Look at gold, guys. 4,300, up 84 bucks right now. And gold's target now, it's just flat out. Don't even talk to me until we get up to about 5,500. That's the all-time 3618 that we've been projecting for quite some time. We've gone full extreme expansion, parabolic. Yeah, gold futures chart. I guess that's the front month here on December puts us at like 4,900-ish, 5,000 book it. So a lot going on. I mean, these are the markets that are happening versus things that are not happening. And I'm just going to shoot through some top markets here. Okay, I know everyone wants to take a quick peek at Bitcoin, and let's just maybe kind of peruse a few top markets here before we get into anything in detail. But this is not price discovery anymore, and this is price retracement. And I'm still looking at the whole Bitcoin situation, predominantly based on well, the whole crypto situation based on Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin situation based on immediate patterns, resistance, inability to recover. Okay, and with the weekly and long-term monthly triggers we have talked about. Look, all these guys that are super uber bullish on crypto, I don't think they're looking at the same chart. And with Bitcoin here, we're not even above 90,000, guys. Let that sink in. We were 125,000 last month, 2 months ago. And now we're sub 90, and we can't get above 93. And I remember I said we could bounce maybe 93, maybe 95. I don't think more than that. And it's already proving itself. Throw Bitcoin the old 30 bar window on the 4 hour. Okay, there's the one, there's two, like there's 60. Where's 100 bars from there? Still got time. But just looking heavy. This crypto action is heavy, guys. So couple others that I think are, just matter of time. Situation things, bigger markets here. Look, we want to watch QQQ. A lot of funkiness since yesterday's Fed whatever, Fed party, Fed joke. The Fed is a joke, people. The Federal Reserve has caused more harm in this society than, I could say a lot of things, but the Federal Reserve is not our friend. Whatever they think they know, all right, it's just forget about it. Today's just a post-day, Fed day, circle, what, reaction. But this does not take away the fact that we're sitting at a 630 level and we're back here, concrete levels, right, guys? That's what we need. What's the concrete level on the QQQ? It is this massive 1618 we are digesting. Big 1618 off the high to low of this year's correction. It's like right there, 627-ish. So if you want to know why we're going sideways, we're not really busting just yet. It's because of this big 1618 on the weekly. Still digesting this though. And that's fine. That could go for a few more weeks. Easy. Yeah, there are no reserves. That's a great one, eFunk. It says it's not federal. That is right. It's not federal. And it's not even reserve because there's no reserves. I mean, people, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give everybody a little research assignment. If you really want to dig deep, okay, really want to understand the shenanigans that go on, I think we're all fortunate to have a stock market and be able to invest and do what we do. But if you really want to see how the whole thing started, I'm going to say this. Go to Amazon and get the book Creature from Jekyll Island. The Creature from Jekyll Island. Oh, there's even a movie. You can get the whole thing free. Yeah, there's a movie. There's a book. It explains everything that they did, and it was all on one weekend. And I always come back to this. I literally own this book. Okay, and it's been, it kind of always knew, but it really explains all the details of how ridiculous the Federal Reserve truly is. And so if you understand that they're playing games, in my opinion, it's, you play the game along the way that they're playing the games. And I think that's probably the best way to approach it. The Creature from Jekyll Island, G. Edward Griffin, classic book. I'm serious. It's a must buy. Even if you don't read it for a year, go buy it now. But this is where harmonic levels, folks, come into play, where we understand and look at like the natural market mechanics of what is possible. The simplest strategy in the harmonic arsenal is understanding what a 1618 is. It's the natural minimum price discovery cycle, price expansion cycle. Yes, larger things can happen from here, but we have to get through this digestion phase, consolidation, whatever, and that's at 627. Get above these prior highs at 635, 640, then you're off to the races. And I think 2026 is probably going to give us that continuation. There's really not, no matter what we do now into January, even if we get a retrace, which I would love to see a retrace, just a nice come off of this daily. That's the other thing I wanted to highlight. We do have a couple of overbought on the daily HSI signals. In the same way 2 weeks ago, we were saying, all right, looks like we got oversold on the downside. Here we're getting up here. Again, the daily at some weekly levels. Let's respect it. Maybe this sets us up for a retrace before that Santa Claus rally. Either way, it's just it's coming together now. I think you can look at the things in like gold and silver and other assets as signs that the price appreciation, paper appreciation will continue. It's amazing. Gold up almost 100, getting there 90. So those are a few things, guys. I think it's it's a very selective market, and you see kind of some confusing ups and downs between various different major tech companies like Oracle today getting crushed. But I'm not too concerned about that. I think this is, Oracle down here under 200. All right, this is a bad pattern. There was a few other things here, but I'm just I think it's let this stuff shake out into the end of the year. I'd be looking to buy Oracle down here. Let this what happened today. It's not a big deal because what we're looking for is stuff like this weekly, which is now putting a first HSI arrow since March, and that would be a really nice continuation area just to start looking. I like this 190 area. Maybe we go to 180. Maybe we go to 200. Doesn't matter. It's the ballpark level for the next wave higher. A couple of those others, one or two more. I'm really starting to focus on Nvidia. If we can get a decline on Nvidia, check this out. I've been saying like 165 on Nvidia. We have to just wait and see how we finish the year. But it's not retracing much more since the 210 top. Get down to I think we get down to like 175, 165, 175. Get ready. Just, get ready to buy it again. 210 was the major target. But I would think this just, Nvidia will continue. You'll go through 10 or 15% corrections. Buy them every time. Yeah. What's up, Floyd? Floyd's saying silver has a weekly sell signal. I disagree. The 3-month candle, the quarterly candle looks like a finale candle. I would say that silver's is going to go price discovery 75 on this move, and I just consider it up until the end of January at a minimum. seasonally, and there's really not much there. There's silver again. I mean, again, you just let that run. You let that run. That's just. I don't see that as capitulation. The point was, and I missed it earlier, that this could be a capitulation bar, monthly or quarterly. But guys, not if we're looking at the readings. This is why it's critical. What's this? I mean, it's an all-time, off the chart, amplified reading above 100. That's crazy. But until this would roll over and break out of the overbought area, it still expands. Even HSI, which is usually the leading indicator. I mean, not only would HSI need to roll out, but break under the 50 before I would even think that that's going to do any major retracement. Silver, guys, silver's going to like $75, $80, and you can't stop it. 72 first stop. I'd be surprised if we didn't hit 72 by the end of January. It's strong. This has been something I've been talking about for months, and now it's coming to fruition. A couple other individual things that are I've patterns that you can dive into right now. And let me just kind of highlight. I'm looking at Toast here on the monthly. Doesn't look like much. The daily's a little bit better. I'm looking down here for some confirmation. It's a bat pattern. Maybe we come back like 33-ish. But I kind of like what's going on. This is really fits within what I've been saying of what's the last year or two doing. Well, there's an uptrend, and we're back retesting the support line with a pattern, much like what we did back here in March. Go up, come back, go up again. I mean, just stay. This is what we want, and there's a big difference, guys. Okay, with where the pattern completes. We see big monster patterns on monthly chart, and they look like, wow, if that could turn around, it'd be a huge thing, but it never does. That's why these continuation patterns within a channel, okay, nice retrace with some confirmation, sets you up for a continuation of the larger move. So that looking good. The other one, the bigger one, this is not there yet. I don't want it to get away from me, but man, if Amazon could come down a little bit more, it's another one here. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it reminds me a lot of Apple. Before Apple when Apple was like 195, before it went to 270, and it wasn't too long ago. I'll bring that up in a second, but it's the same deal. Down here, like 214. If we could get that in the next 2 weeks, that would be a major continuation buy for Amazon. And so there's a pattern that is in the works at the moment. Come down one more time, 214. Just lining up things like that. The other one we talked about was Spotify. Okay, what is it? Type 2, perfect confirmation came in 4 days ago at 562. We're 600, but we should see a larger development off this type 2 crab. That's textbook type 2 crab right there. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think this is going to take more time, but you're down here. You've got a weekly. Okay, you're trending. I know this thing is looking a little toppy. I mean, it's just been such a run the last 3 or 4 years. You go from 100 to 800, nice 8x. Well, there's another opportunity. Here we go. Pulling back on the long-term trend line with patterns and confirmation and da-da-da. Spotify, they're 575, 580 to 600-ish. You're looking for stuff like this. Couple more. What was the other one that oh, here's a, okay, so the other area that I've really been highlighting lately has been quantum. And we're seeing some interesting behavior intraday. I got to say this, like D wave, I am long this. They've been trying to sell it off, and they bring it back after the or the shark pattern from not even, that was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Ideally, I mean, it would be great if we could get one more retest. I don't know if that's going to happen. This has been holding up quite firm. I think maybe we go to 34 first. But longer term with the quantum stocks, which are, the next thing really, is that, are we on an uptrend? I think so. Are we at a retracement against that trend with oversold weekly long-term signals? Yeah. So again, if you're not in any quantum stocks, Qubits, that's the company's called D-Wave. That's one to look at. Regetti and IONQ are the other two big ones. IONQ's got a few patterns. Weekly deep grab down here where target 2 is support at 43. And then we've got the shark, daily shark. This might take some more time, but I do think we can get this back eventually. Again, I'm looking for big things in this whole data center quantum area, these type of stocks. They're setting up with this nice year-end pullback. Okay, and I feel like IONQ, it's done it before. We've been in this. There was a few setups back way back here. When was that? It was October, but there was another one. Oh, maybe that was Regetti. Regardless, this 177, 78 bucks by next year. That's the way I'm thinking about that. So if you're not looking at those, get them lined up, and then one or two more. I mean, concrete patterns, back-to-back stuff. Here's irons on it. Iron Mountain, guys. Iron Mountain, perfect type 2. Deep crab on the daily confirmation. We're just ready to break out. Here's the last piece of the puzzle I look for on any setup, especially the intraday stuff. You get above this 50 level, that's when things can happen. And we're getting there. We are getting there. So Iron Mountain's another one of these plays. A lot of hype, but perfect example of ideal harmonic setup, buying it on a retrace within a longer term uptrend. That's been the strategy all along. There you go. Clearly looking for 83 as the major pivot number. There's a few things going on there. Even the weekly. Yeah, the weekly's got oversold down here as well. Longer term. I mean, just look at this. That's perfect, guys. That's what we want. That's what we want. Trending situations. This is 4 years. Looking for that continuation. A couple others. What's up? Wayne wants to look at QSI. Correct? QSI. Hold on. QSI is like this. It's Quantum SI. Low floater for sure. We've got a couple of things down here. Remember this? So back-to-back patterns. Okay, this is not, I wouldn't really say this is trending quite yet. But, all right, some interesting back-to-back. Like if you wanted to speculate on quantum stocks, this might be a low-hanging fruit here. You might spend a long time between $1 and $3 until that breaks out, but back-to-back patterns always helps. Always helps with that. Maybe back at 120 one more time. Nice one, though. A couple others. What's up, Mr. Analysis? DXY down with S&P down, not a good sign. You guys, I would think of it like this. You want retracements. You guys, whether the dollar's up or down, you want this market to retrace to give you another sizable entry to get in on the longer term continuation, because that's what's going down here. Quantum computing, I do like this chart. I do like the fact that we're oversold around 11. There was a couple of things here. Yeah, crab on the 4 hour, which is maybe back under 10, but I would be looking, yeah. I mean, this is another one where did the weekly? No, but this is okay. You don't know. I mean, you could look at this butterfly down here. Pretty amazing. That was pretty much the exact low. This is what you'd want QSI to do. But, 59 cents to 26. Well done. How do you know? Well, you don't, but there you do. And that was like 5. And now, are we setting up here with another weekly? Almost. Why didn't that go on? This is your HSI. Hold on. The other one's combo. Remove that. That should have registered an arrow. I'll have to see why. There should be a weekly oversold arrow there. Regardless, I like this one too. I mean, stuff like this, this mania phase had the retrace, secondary high, tertiary high, get ready to go again, because you're looking at this thing to go back to 22, 24. NOQ, what about Regetti? Regetti, a little more speculative, but there you go. Weekly oversold. And, yes, it's done spectacular things, but this is what we want. As of Monday, that was the case. And then daily, like 24 bucks. Let's look at down there. What's the 4 hour? Yeah, I mean, this could, look, these quantum stocks could get a little tax loss selling or profit taking. People getting out this year, but I would be looking at this retest something like 24. QE to start tomorrow. Is that what he says? Powell says, what's up? You went for a walk today. What's up, mister? I went for a walk today. You should go for a walk every day. Yeah, you know what? The QE thing, you see it. Look, silver's up 350, okay? Gold's up almost 100. The paper inflation is fully on, and it's even showing up in the hard metal trade. I'll tell you the other one I like is I like this palladium trade. Platinum group metals, guys. I really like this. And I think this is going to just blast. It's going to blast because that's the 4 hour, the daily, just these are exploding. Someone wanted to look at CDE. Definitely CDEs. That goes higher. That there's 17, 18 now. Get me back to 22 quickly. What about like Alcoa? I knew it. Alcoa just ripping. Alcoa, Aluminum Company of America. And yeah, that's about to break out. Look at this. The metals, guys, these type of stocks are just absolutely lighting it up. What about Freeport McMoran? This is the other one that I do like. I don't even think this thing is really broken out yet. Grinding higher, but this is just begging to get back to 57-ish. Yeah, PLG. I bought some a couple days ago. Albemarle, ALB, what's going on, Mr. Don Vega? ALB. Yeah, Albemarle Corp with the big fat bat pattern on the weekly. Man, I think that March low, guys, all these charts that I'm looking at, that was a major cycle low. I really, not to mention a massive shakeout. So anything you're looking at recovering off those lows is it's not going to look back. I mean, this one, yeah, you're already up. You've doubled off that low, but I just say keep an eye on it. The best thing to do is simply wait for 4 hour pullbacks and take shots. There was the last 4 hour pullback. Just, I guess that was Friday at 125, now 134. But if you see a stock, a chart, something that's exploded on the daily or the weekly, just break it down and wait for it to get 4 hour oversold, and it just will keep rocking. I mean, look at SLV. How many of those signals did it give us? 4 hour chart. Just the last month, not even, like 6 weeks there. Couple others. GGP, Greater Plains. Is that what that is? GGP. Great Land Resources. Close. I don't know. I know the Greater Plains one. Let's look at that chart. All-time new highs. Look at that. No, not all-time. Great Land Resources. I'll have to do a deep dive on that one. Looks interesting. Also, I love to look at market capitalizations. All these stocks that have come up from like $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion. A lot of them are just in terms of sheer money flow destined for like 10 billion. And then if you're 20, 30, 40 billion, you're destined for 100 billion. That's the way this whole market seems to be growing. DDD. We looked at that last time. 3D Systems. Where are we with this? And I don't know why I'm slow here today. Come on. 3D Systems, no way. Tell me you guys are still with me. I don't know what's going on here. Why are we slow again with this connection? I'm still running both Comcast and Starlink, and I've been disappointed by both of them. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Yeah, I'm not much on 3D Systems, guys. I mean, if you wanted to throw $1,000 here, you buy 500 or 1,000 shares. Yeah, I mean, again, you could do worse. Let's just say that. Not a bad idea. I mean, maybe. I'm just the low floaters. I want things that are trending. I really do. This reminds me so much of so many crypto charts that I just want to like stop the hopium and go with clear trending situations. Not to say it's not a bad idea, but maybe it goes from 194 to 275. That would be it. And I'm on Comcast right now, guys. I'm going to switch over here to Starlink. Starlink's not been as consistent as I would like. Let me know how we're doing though. If it's still disconnecting. Could be the polar shift. Wayne, I don't disagree, man. It could be the polar shift. You got that, Mr. Expat. It's been cloudy. It hasn't been. Look, I was out this morning. It's like perfect weather here in Miami. Rio Tinto, guys. Just keep going. I mean, this amazing. Look at that. Weekly. Look at this. Oh, the one that's really waking up is Valet, the Brazilian. Shout out to Brazil. Brazilian resource stock. I like Valet down here, guys. I think this thing could recover massively. It's kind of a sleeper stock, but with the way the resources are exploding, that whole resource trade. And look, here's the monthly. So Valet, guys, on the monthly, it reminds me of silver when silver was trading like 15. Valet is only 13.29. And what is it? It's a shark. $10. with confirmation that just came in back in April. So that's a massive deal. Valet, I really like that stock. I really like that what that pattern's setting up for. Take a look. VALE. Way to go. Let's go. Got it. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. If I have any disruptions, please let me know. I think we're good. Starlink has been better than Comcast, which is pretty ridiculous if Comcast's system is that bad. But I've had some issues too with Starlink. I can't say it's perfect. Yeah, Valet's this is a nice look. It's not going to be super sexy, but if you stay in that longer term, you could buy it right here at 13. Maybe it comes back to 10. But this sucker's going to 25 longer term. You can't get away with it. Look, the silver trade, this silver explosion, it's not only silver, it's about platinum, it's about palladium, it's about gold, it's about uranium, it's about lithium. And here's the big plays, so mining's going to explode. I've been talking about Caterpillar. Guys, Caterpillar is going much, 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 much higher. Much higher. Much higher. These guys are going to be so flushed with cash, buying so much equipment, brand new. I mean, this is it. So it's Caterpillar. The last jump on was 550. Like, I think Cat goes to 1,000. The other play is Cummins Engine. That's what runs these puppies. Yeah, look at that. Amazing. Cummins and Cat. CMI, CAT, they both double in the next 2-3 years. That's just not. I would take Caterpillar over Bitcoin any day of the week. I would take Cummins Engine over Coinbase any day of the week. Because these are happening. This is a massive price discovery move. I don't need to guess this. I know this thing's going to be around. This trend and what's happening is going to be around for the next 2 or 3 years. What are we doing on NASDAQ here? NASDAQ off 175. It really is kind of a nothing burger. Although, check out the 5-minute RTH. Yo, here we go. Okay, we haven't had an RTH signal. The 5-minute, maybe this is going to roll over here. Here we go. I mean, there's the first RTH signal, that yellow dot. On the 5-minute NASDAQ NQ, the open bar triggers 639. So we look 639 to 649. What have we done so far? Well, there, the high, 644. I'd say this is really close. Looking for probably a rollover. Futures traders alert. Break the 50 line here. Can we crack 50 and then get the breakdown for today? I'd watch that, guys. The trigger minimum 639.75. This has been a really effective intraday signal just on HSI dots. Of course, we want patterns, but intraday inflections, overbought, oversold limits, been really nice. I talked about this last time, and I would look at this. Another reason why get the software. It's not only the patterns, it's harmonic strength index, confirmation signals, stuff like that. And I'm talking about nailing inflections on the 5-minute chart within 10 points, sometimes 20. All right, really not more than 30. 10 to 20 overspill. This is 5. Looking for at least 40 to like 100 lower off of there. 640 down to 600. That's kind of the minimum assumption. Can we get the 50 line? Again, here's a 5-minute intraday opportunity. If it's really going to break down, it will happen. It'll cross 50 first. We're not below the 50 yet. on the 5-minute time frame. So it's, you're premature. But that's how we're breaking it down. And this double, and it's a double dot. Really, the second dot is at 618.75. So maybe that's like 630, 618 to 628 ish. Either way, I'd be looking at this for NASDAQ today into the close. Go back down. 4-hour time frame, guys, on NASDAQ, and like what can we expect? Looking for something in Santa Claus rally or whatever. Why aren't we rallying yet? Why aren't we getting up there? We did hit a couple of things yesterday. We got oversold in the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, but then we retested, got rejected after the Fed thing. So everyone was holding out to the Fed. I would say it's just, pause here, digest this zone for now. Doesn't change what remember, the larger targets for NASDAQ, we've got these patterns here. I'm still thinking that for as we get into the last 2 weeks of the year. Get up. Can we retest that prior pattern from November? Do this kind of looping all the way down, back up, bang. I'm super constructive on stocks, but specific stocks, specific areas, there are things setting up, definitely, but we want mostly trending. Some patterns that we are looking at now, they just need a little more time. I think all of it's coming into the end of the year. Yeah, maybe just a pause before a pump. Not necessarily. The Defiant Silver's looking for the breakout. Those are the junior explorers. Yeah. Oh, Floyd. Mosaic is a great one to look at. MOS. Because I know, look, that used to be a high flyer. Look at that. I liked Mosaic. Weekly. Look at this. Guys, great one, Floyd. Mosaic down here at 24. That is probably a go. And Mosaic is one of these stocks, real cyclical, but man, when it gets on a run, look out. It will tear. There's a 5X, low to high. We've been there a few times. I like that weekly setup. Mosaic. They make potash. And I would look at that right here, right now, fat finger buy. Good to go on that one. 24-ish. Wasn't there something on the monthly too? Dot. All of it is 25. Oh yeah, it was the prior pattern looking left. Did the 1 and the 2. That's big. I do like that. A couple more, and yeah, I'll look at. I'll wrap up on crypto in a minute here. ES for what's up, Mr. Kennedy? How you doing today? ES at 6,900, right? Guys, where is this going? Okay, I mean, really, even if we get a retrace, what is the stock market doing? It's just ripping. Absolutely just exploding. So going into next year, I mean, what is the minimum assumption we can throw forward the next 2 to 3 years? I talked about that on Tuesday. We're overextended here, no doubt, within the last 15-year channel. But I don't think we're going to see much of a pullback. Maybe like back into here and then go again. But it's just, this thing is so strong. The other interesting aspect we've seen about it is clearly the deep crab has failed. And what we're looking for on S&P Futures, 2618. Off of that pattern is where we are now, 69.50, 69.40. That's your 2618. And we have paused, but now let's look for S&P 314 at 76, and a 3618 is like 82. I think 8200, guys. This time next year, we will be closing in on that 3618. And if we don't clip it by in a year, I would think first half of 27. That's, this whole channel does not stop. If anything, if we get on a new accelerated path, then you're looking at this thing happening sooner than that. That's the S&P. On the hourly, again, that's what it is. Look, certainly. Type 2, nice shark. But every time they sell this off, guys, I mean, just go back on an hourly or 4-hour chart. They throw it down in a reaction and they're bringing it right back. That pattern will not change. That's why when they throw it down and we're down 50 or 100 in a single day on the S&P, I'd be looking to buy. Just continue that well into next year. And hope we get, at this point, I would love to see a pullback like we had back in March. Or even better, another one like we had a month ago, because that was short and sweet. Yes, we are in the Meltup. This is the Meltup. We've talked about the Meltup. Definitely. This is the Meltup. We could, I mean, Bank of Japan, but what everyone has to do, and the problem is that everyone has to refinance. And a lot of the stuff that came up during COVID, those 5 to 10 year bonds, and it really started because like the 2 to 3 year terms, the really short term paper, they had to redo in the last couple of years, last year or two. That's when it started. But now that 5-year paper and into the 10-year paper, I mean, this is going to create kind of a wave where you're going to have to refinance it at much higher rates than it was before. They're going to have to print a lot more currency. So speaking of that, why isn't Bitcoin at 100,000? And when will it get there? I mean, here we are at 90K, 90,500. If that's the case, and it's the dream scenario for every crypto person in the world, why aren't we all-time new highs? Why hasn't this, just continued? I think it's maybe one of two things. One, the whole store of value is great, but you see what they're doing with gold and silver, that those have always been the primary kind of reserve assets, and they're playing catch up to what should have really has been an underperformance the last 5 years. So Bitcoin at the weekly, where are we? Is it the weekly 382? And that's the easiest level to remember, this all-time cycle from 22 to the low. The 382, guys, is the only number you really need to worry about right now. That's 83K. And the worry comes when you roll back down and you fail it. I'm not even so much concerned, and I would hope that Bitcoin would rally 5,000. But if it doesn't, and we find ourselves, say we're 2 weeks, amazing, by the way, 2 weeks from today will be Christmas. 3 weeks from today will be the new year. Think about that. So Bitcoin, if this continues to lag another week or two, then this monthly candle is not only is it not going to rebound, it's going to give you trouble into next year. So Bitcoin here, and check it out. What's HSI doing? Quick hard nosedive on the monthly basis. That has to go lower. We cracked the 50. The concern I really have is that once we make this final move into the oversold, you liken it back to the last cycle. You were there, about to go oversold. You know, you were there, and that was May of 22, and you didn't bottom out until December of 22. Just a slow grind. That's what I think Bitcoin wants to do. Slow grind. And then if the monthly trigger rolls down, this is the one thing I will, you guys hold me to this. We get to this 50 level, we get a bad monthly close on Bitcoin, our RSI is shot to shit. I think it already is. But you got this little jig up. If we roll down on this monthly close and into January and start kind of doing this, I'll even make it like that. All right, that's when the larger down move for Bitcoin happens. If Bitcoin was super strong, guys, we would be like this. We would have gotten oversold, and then we would already, I mean now, we would have bounced back up above the 50. This would be a monster above the 50 already. I don't know. You know, it was such a disappointment in October when that did fail. And that if we go into this for the next 6 months, 9 months, I'm not going to be surprised. For now, focus on the 382, 83,000. We get under 83,000, we know what the next one or two levels are. So, you know, sorry, Bitcoin. The rest of it, I know Ethereum got up there, was, you know, flirting with like 3,300, now 3,200. You know, again, no, it's not melting either way, but there's a lot of work left to be done here. Weekly basis is like that. The daily was a shark, or was it? Yeah, there was. It's a bat, and we almost clipped target one on Ethereum. But I'm still looking for this thing to roll down back to 26 or lower. This is not a trending asset. Not in no way. No way. Not after what it's done in the last, oh, I don't know, the whole year. 2025 is, you know, flush down, straight back up, right back down. That's not progress. That's just not going to get it done. I would want to see a dot or a retest. Again, all of that is at least 500 lower. Couple others. Crush MicroStrategy, then take the Bitcoin, get long. Government could do that. I mean, and the major players could crush them. You know, they could try to drive it down. I don't like what has happened in the last 2 months, guys. Been really clear on that. A couple others. Zcash. Well, we kind of threw the towel in on that one, right? Look at that. It got to 300, but you know, okay, you bounced. That's great. You bounced a little bit. What was down there? Oh, you had the deep crab. Yeah, I'm not Zcash. I'm kind of done with it too. Yeah, you're gonna have 100-point bounces, but yeah, I mean, look, back-to-back patterns, and now 482. I'll tell you, 450 is the real level because that's target one off of that crab pattern. I would, again, Zcash, just stair stepping down, and you take out this prior support here, it's all done. I mean, you were almost under 300, which is more than a 50%. That's, you already did, I think, a 618. That's pretty amazing. You did. We were talking up around 650. Those signals on Zcash were probably it. And ever since then, where is it? Look at that. 618, guys. Exactly. That's all that was. 618 bounce. Probably come up, roll back down. I don't know. Throw out something. I challenge anybody. Throw out something in crypto that hasn't done this, that is, a sustainable uptrend. And I come to like Binance Coin, where, hey, I love that trend. I love the progress it has done over the last 2 or 3 years for sure. All right, a big shark down here at 200 on the weekly. Amazing. It's on an uptrend here. Um, that's something. There aren't many crypto that are doing this. And I probably would still want to see a dot here. So I don't know what else in crypto looks like this. Bitcoin, maybe if it got a weekly oversold, but Bitcoin isn't even weekly oversold yet. Don't know. Stop buying silver? I wouldn't. I don't know about that. I'd buy silver. I'd fat finger long silver all the way up to $75 minimum. Do I think it's the start of the rotation from AI into more defensive, non-sexy assets? Castles Made of Sand is asking that one, and I think it's I think the money's going to the top winners, okay, and the trenders, and that's been gold all year, 2 or 3 years now. Big tech, semiconductors. I think of all of the ones that are of the solar, semis, and silver. I would say solar probably has the most work to do, but those are the industries people are focused on, the data center stuff, quantum stuff. That's all, all really interesting. But then you've got things like Target. Somebody wanted to look at Target, and I'll bring this up. I mean, look, Target, consumer spending. Do people really have more money in their pockets that they're going out and shopping? Hell no. Not yet. That's a great pattern. We've talked about this setup in Target. Now we have a secondary confirmation, like $90 is the terminal bar. But the last 4 years have been down. Until that breaks out of the downtrend channel, you're probably going sideways. I'm looking at that on the weekly. The monthly is probably still needs some time. There's the monthly chart. Would make sense. Hey, buy it on the retrace. But a lot of these things aren't really moving yet because underlying in where the money's going in the economy, consumer doesn't have it. This is more like tech spending and store of value markets of where I can plow my money and not get hurt. I mean, a lot of stuff looks like this. Remember Nike? We talked about that for a while. I mean, 10 years ago, if I told you Nike was down 60, 70%, you'd be like, all right, that's got to be a buy. It has yet to really prove itself. Here's the deal on the monthly, guys. Like Nike there's a couple patterns there, but tell me about amplified RSI on the monthly chart. We are well below the 50. We can't get above the 50. I wouldn't even assume that price is going to move on Nike until we could get like that, above 50 and moving. So that's months away. I would be, in terms of larger rotation, I don't think it's as straightforward of what's happening now as it maybe used to be. But that's a hurting consumer with no money to spend. That's why, and tariffs to boot. Couple more. What else? Yeah, well, yeah. The profiler, guys, there's not a video yet, but there will be. Last chance to get on the profiler. You have to DM me in the Discord. Also, if you win the 30-day package by putting in HPC 30 right now, first person that does that will win. Send you 30-day package to get with the software and join us in the gold room. Hit me up on the Discord if you have any other questions. You wanted to look at what? XMR? Monero? What's up, expat Matt? Are you really expat? Are you live outside the United States? Monero. Not bad. I mean, Monero's up all-time 886. That's definitely a nice chart, my friend. I see that. I mean, again, a little late, but we're at the all-time 886. Yeah, I like. I hear what you're saying on that chart. You're hitting resistance at the 886. You can't break through that yet. Maybe you will. And so I've been corrected. There's one crypto chart that has some progress to it. It's just that you can't get out of the maybe you will. I'm watching that 886. Really, it's like 400, 390. What about the other ones like Compound or the other privacy coins? Should they be looked at? Back at 30 on Compound. Compound and then Zcash, Monero. Come on, guys, help me out. What's the other? There's one other one. Compound. Was it Numer, NMR? I think so. That was delisted a while ago. Yeah, there's a few things there. I mean, I'm but not the trending. That's definitely not the trend or trending situation we'd want to see. I'm obviously, like the rest of you, frustrated with what has unfolded. I mean, look at what's XRP doing, right back at $2. Where's that going? I mean, again, look at this thing just kind of straight up, straight back down, and threatening. Really, just kind of leaking here. I do not like this chart. I don't like charts that do this. Unsustainable moves. If I'm looking at this whole wave, all right, there's the first move, X, A, B. There's a failed harmonic impulse wave. Take it on down, 1618. If I'm connecting dots, guys, that's what I'm thinking about XRP. I'm sorry, but this is where I have to measure harmonic levels, X ABCD structures, just repeat it to myself and say, where's the next long-term X ABCD come together? It's there. Will it go back to 42 cents? I don't know. But I'm sure as hell not going to be long in the face of that possibility. Nope. No thanks. I really have a problem with it. And then even daily stuff. We have, ever since this big flash crash candle got up, rolled back down, this is what I want you people to avoid. This is not an opportunity where we're trending and we have something to look forward to. It's all about stocks right now, and it's going to be all about those winning stocks that are going to keep winning. Give me Caterpillar. Give me Caterpillar. Even if it lost 50% of its value, which it's not going to. But even if it did, this thing is going to continue to climb over the next 1, 3, 5 years. Where we're just looking for long-term retraces, that one and Cummins, and again, just ride that trend. I don't know. I still see a lot of people saying, "Hey, crypto's day is coming." It's not. In the meantime, all the big stocks that they said, oh, okay, yeah, Bitcoin has increased more than Apple or greater performance than Tesla or all Walmart or whatever, great, so be it. But That's because they're calculating it from like day one inception. That would be like the same as calculating like the return of Walmart day one of Sam Walmart's first store. Walmart, $917 billion company on its way to a trillion plus, maybe a $2 trillion company. But you know, every retrace that this does on a long-term basis is a buy because this thing is just in a mega trend. Look at that. And write it out, guys. This is so important. It's technical analysis 101, trend. What's the trend? Up or down? And you ride that trend within the channel constraints. That's what we want. That's going to win in next year. I'd be looking at stuff like this literally for the next 2 or 3 weeks, lining up stuff like this. If we do get that early January retrace, you hit it hard. The rest of it and crypto, really not so much. I am, you know, I've been like that since second week of October, and nothing has changed my tune to where I think that's, you know, that changes anytime soon. Crypto's into that 1 year cycle, down cycle. Couple more. Yeah, I love the diamonds, Floyd. Dow Diamonds. I mean, Dow Diamonds down here at 470. We talked about that towards the end. Now 487. Guys, that's going to like 600. That puts Dow at 60,000. Remember, we are going to crack 50,000 on the Dow in the next 2 months. And what really goes on here is this. 1618 continuation, like the rest of them. The short term, what's that? Dow 508, 505-ish. That's where Dow goes. And the diamonds, it's almost like you could fat finger long that. I don't even have to look at it. Go back when you need it in 5, 10, 15 years. It will be a multiple of whatever you put into it. Yeah. Lemonade, LMND. Let's get a couple more and get out of here. I'll give away one more software. Who won that last one, by the way? Yeah. HPC 30. Lemonade, amazing. This is what, 20 to 80, as is just another one of those stocks. I can't really offer anything on that right now. I mean, the last long opportunity was 47. But hell, that's quite a trending situation. No, I can't really offer much on that though. If it pulls back, let me know. The other one was Lunar. Yeah, Lunar's that other one that's just 10 to 12. Trying to get back up to like 23. That's been a little frustrating, but I think a lot of things going on there. $10 definitely a floor to get back to like 20. Just going to take some time. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's like Regetti. It's like the quantum stocks. One or two more. FLR. Like that. Floor Corp. Yeah, okay, got some patterns. I mean, it hasn't moved. This isn't like a huge, sexy tech stock. Okay, I'd be looking maybe down there 40. I think maybe as like a safe industrial services play, maybe not a heck of a lot happening here. Again, I'm gonna say, I mean, it's a nice chart, making progress the last few years, but I'm gonna tell you Caterpillar, or I'm gonna tell you Walmart, or I'm gonna tell you Amazon over stuff like this. Absolutely. And there are select markets that are really just exploding. I brought this one up, Urban Outfitters, okay? All-time new highs now, guys, 81.30. I think this thing easily gets to 100. But look, I've been talking about this since May, and we had the retrace at 61, exploding. Again, weekly. Weekly was an oversold with the arrow. So these ones that are trending are continuing to win. How about we talked last time about Fossil. I think that was an interesting, yeah. Hold on. What was down here? There's a few things down here. Big bat pattern. It's like $3. You know what it was? I would still look at Fossil. I think Fossil somewhere at $3. If you want a low floater, sure. Abercrombie and Fitch is the one, yeah, and it's getting away. Yeah, that one is. This is another one. Big patterns down here. I think you get that to back to 121 pretty quickly. It's a little far away from what I'd be considering. One or two more. Was it Taiwan Semi? Nope. Train. It was a T. Maybe it was not Take Two. I did Toast. We did Tandem. No, we didn't do Tandem today. I think that's a Mitch special. Tandem. I know Mitch was talking a lot about this recently. Making progress. You know the one you guys been talking a lot about, Rivian, and I think it's worth a look. You know, you're oversold at the moment, but definitely making progress. Excuse me, overbought on the daily, but again, we talked about why 1718 was firm resistance. I do like it because we've broken out of the downtrend. I would just trigger off of the next oversold level. I mean, Rivian back at like, was it 12? Some patterns are back here at 10, but you know, let's keep an eye on Rivian. I like the progress it's made. It's just not ready to blast off. But I think that's another. I mean, there's a bunch of these guys. TSM, Taiwan Semi, we just had that up. Do I see anything in Caspa? No, I wouldn't even go there. Hey, Dean, you're the one. I'm rambling, but Dean Man 60, you got to send me a note on DM, Discord right there, okay? And I'll hook you up. That's what I'm going to give away for today. Again, get with that. Really quick, folks. There's a lot of opportunities going on in the market right now, but we really got to nail down what's trending, what's not. Please get the TradingView platform, get the free trial. It's all free. All right, HPC at sr-analyst.com. The Black Friday special over on next week. Use the code HPC30 to get 30% off on checkout on any and all the platforms, by the way. We work with TradingView because that's got everything. So you have any questions, DM me. If you are an owner, this is it. This is the last chance. You have to DM me in Discord your username, but that's only for owners to get with the pattern profiler. I will roll out a video explaining it. I think we've got some programmability that will come. It's not optimized, but it looks like this. Put it there. It's a statistical analyzer for patterns depending on what time frame you select, but it is unfiltered for now. But now's the time to get to it. Starting January, we're going to charge it as an add-on. All right, that's it though. That's the last call on that. You got to DM me there. Sure, okay. Apple, last one. Apple up here at 280. It's just another trending situation up at the top end of that channel. Apple's yet, Apple's another one. Remember I was saying Amazon was a lot similar right now to where Amazon was like back here in May and stuff. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Apple's just at the top end of the channel. Let it get a retrace and just this stuff is not going to stop going up. You're talking the next 1 to 3 years, Apple just continues. So 4 trillion, can we get to 10 trillion? Is that possible? I think it is. 4 trillion is unbelievable. That's what's happening here. The winners are going to keep winning, guys. It's going to be our job to really focus on winners. And even if they are overextended, Apple is overextended, we'll just wait. If it's a month, 3 months, pull back, we'll get oversold again, and we'll keep going. The rest of it, again, stuff that's not working, let's just let it go until it truly proves itself. And that's most of crypto. Coinbase, MicroStrategy, they're all going lower. Sorry for crypto, but that's the case. And I wouldn't change it. I'm not one of these guys that's looking for a renewed effort. That argument failed in early October. And until I see something drastically change, I'm still looking lower on Bitcoin and not touching the rest of crypto. Focus on the stocks. All right. That's what I have for today, guys. Look, appreciate you. You have any questions, get over to Harmonic Trader. Everything else there is all available on the website. Okay. That's the place to go. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I know I will. I'll be back on Tuesday, same time. Hit the like, subscribe on the way out. Get the notifications. If you like what we're doing here. Until then, as always, folks, go get them. We'll see you next time.